What is good?
Man, everybody got different schedules, man.
What is good? We are live, Skee. we are live. Let's keep it PG here. All right, so this is ahead of the spread presented by Wager Talk. We do have 4 games tomorrow, so we'll go through all four. One of them, Skee, the first game up, Washington versus Detroit. I do have a $5. Tomorrow's tomorrow is $5 Tuesday. That's my $5 play, so I'll be skipping that one. But other than that, we should be able to get through all of them. I don't know if you have your $5 play yet, but um, real quick before we get into those games though, today I went 2-3, 2-3 today. It's one of those games where one of those days where those plays that you bet didn't hit and then the leans did hit. That's what happened to me today. But 2-3. Hopefully we get back on track tomorrow. How'd you do today, Ski?
I went 1-1, so need to do better than 1-1 tomorrow as well. I had the Knicks, took them on the money line, and then
Nice.
I had the under in the Thunder game. I like that game so much when we were talking about it yesterday, and
Yeah,
they scored 267. So that was
yeah.
terrible.
That was terrible. I mean, I had the same feeling there. I did take the team total under on the
You
OKC
almost
side.
got that still.
I almost got it. You know what we should have done was just took Denver on the side because
Yeah.
we were thinking that anyways. But all right, let's get to this. I know you got things to do here. Let's. All right, first game up here. We got Washington and Detroit. Minus 14.5 at open for Detroit at home. The total at 233. This has moved already. 15.5, pretty much across the board. Still a 15 at DraftKings. 235 the highest on the totals. 234.5 the low. Sorry, 234 is the lowest over at FanDuel. Over at themoneyballer.com, double digit in season revenge on the Wizard side. Second game of a back to back. Also, third game in 4 nights. And then on the Pistons side, they have the rest advantage. Third game in 4 nights, though. Uh, Washington, they did lose today. I think by double digits is what, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts here, Ski? I mean, to me, it's like it's Detroit or nothing, but this is a big number here.
Um, yeah, it's almost like usually when I think about Washington, I don't like to, I usually don't care about the number. Just, when they lose by big margins. But
Hmm.
what they lose by here tonight, they lost by 15, right? So
Yep.
15-point spread again tomorrow. It absolutely can happen. But I don't know. It just, I know you said you have a play on this game. I know you don't want to talk about it too much. I think I would prefer just for to not trust either defense. Like I do think, if anything, Detroit likes to play up tempo.
Hmm.
Washington will be happy to run with them, and it just can Washington's offense get going. So I do.
Yeah.
The market is starting to push it up. I think it's going in the right direction. As far as the side, I don't. I don't think I can get there.
Yeah, I mean, from a side perspective, like I said, I think it's Pistons or nothing, but this is such a big number. Like you said, though, it's whether or not the Wizards can come up offensively, right? I think that's the big question mark. Are the Pistons going to care enough about this game to play any defense? They do have, um, oh, they're playing back to back here. So, I mean, there's not much of a look ahead or anything at all either. So I don't know. This one from a side perspective, this is pretty tough. But I do have uh, uh, something on the total here. So that's my $5 Tuesday play is on the total. So if you guys are interested in that, get that over at Wager Talk. Um, all right, let's move on to the next game here. We got Brooklyn and Cleveland. Another huge line here. Cleveland minus 17.5. This is already at 18.5 at BetMGM and FanDuel. Still 18 is available. Total 223.5. As high as 226.5. I uh so I actually just bet this one, Ski. I took the over on this one at 225, and this was right before the show. And it already moved to 226.5, the highest. Didn't get a chance to give it to clients, so if any clients are watching, I did take that. I'm about to put it in right after. But at a smaller percentage if it's at 226.5. Um, but there's a lot of things. Cam Thomas did not play today, and we kind of talked about it yesterday. When he's not on the court for the Nets, they are a huge under team. but when he's on the court, their offense thrives and their defense struggles, just leading to a lot more overs. 6 of the last 7 games with Cam Thomas on the court, they've gone over. To me, that's the only way that I could look here. Any thoughts on this one?
Um, well, I would want Cam Thomas in. I mean, they did go over today without Cam Thomas.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Cleveland should be able to really name their number versus Brooklyn. And if you get both Cam Thomas and D'Lo, I think they should be able to do their part against Garland and Mitchell. So I think the over is a solid way to go. Don't think I could be bet. I don't. I try my best not to bet against Cleveland. So
Yeah.
yeah, over or nothing.
Yeah, just a few more trends to kind of point in the direction of the over. Cavs are 5-1 to the over as double-digit favorites versus teams on no rest. We got Cavs just over in general this year, 40-22-1, one of the best over teams in the league. And then as home favorites, 21-12 to the over. When they're more rested than their opponent, 11-3 to the over. Just a lot of things, especially on the Cavs side, pointing to the over. And I mentioned how the Nets do with Cam Thomas in the lineup. He was out for injury management, and I expect him. To me, I think he's going to play, and the total moving up kind of says that might happen. But like you said, Nets put up 111 today against the Lakers team that's been playing really good defense. It's actually the second most points the Lakers have given up in the last 10 games. The other team that put up over 111 was the Celtics. So, I mean, they were able to put up points yesterday. Yesterday, I think they could put up points again with Cam Thomas and give up a whole bunch of points. So, over for me. So the third game we have Milwaukee and Indiana. We got Milwaukee opening up at -3. -2.5 at BetMGM, but pretty much -3s across the board. Total 232. This has pretty much stayed except for at BetMGM. Again, 232.5. My bad. Injuries here. We go to Indiana first. Halliburton is questionable, and then we go to Milwaukee. Connaughton is questionable, and Portis continues to be out. Over at the moneyballer.com, we have third rest advantage on the Bucks side. Third game in 4 nights. Pacers fatigue. Second game of a back-to-back. Third game in 4. Fourth game in 6. And then my Alexa. All right, and then in-season revenge here on the Pacers side. Skee, what are your thoughts on this one here?
Well, the Pacers did just play tonight, so I know the Bucks are in a more advantageous
Okay,
spot with the
I
rest
promise.
advantage, and then they're off back-to-back losses. So I think it'll be a spot where they're really motivated and focused to go and try to get a win.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, um, I just feel like uh, they haven't been looking so good lately. So Milwaukee, really the only way I want to look in this game.
Yeah, I agree. So when I was capping this one, I did look towards the Bucks side. A couple things on to point in their direction. The Bucks have covered both matchups so far this season, so it could be a matchup thing here. But if you look at the Pacers as home dogs, 3-5 ATS, second of a back-to-back, 2-7. I know the Bucks aren't great ATS wise in their spots either, but I think the biggest part here is right there. They give up a ton of points in this home dog role. 7-1 to the team total over for the Buck side. And then on the second of a back-to-back, you can see them struggling when they're rested. When they're less rested, offensively, they struggle there as well, but give up a ton of more points here. If you look at last 10 games, and we go to the Bucks side, defensively is where the big gap is. You see third here on the Bucks, 16th on the defensive side for the Pacers. Um, Mid-range game, this is where I think the Bucks can thrive. Also from the 3-point range, Pacers are pretty decent. 12th in corner 3 defense, 16th right there, so middle of the pack. But the Bucks are also very efficient on their side from the 3-point range. So um, the other piece here, Bucks free throw rate. There's a big gap right there with free throw rate. On the Pacers side, their advantage would be on the turnovers. So that would be something that if you're backing the Pacers side, that would be what you're kind of banking on is for them to take care of the ball and force turnovers. But more things are really pointing towards the Bucks side than the Pacers. So I would lean towards the Bucks side, but this is one I would probably stay away from. Maybe a Bucks team total over, if anything. If you don't like anything on the spread. All right, last game up, Ski. Quick show today. I mean, to be honest, tomorrow's slate is really not that great. 4 games, and I only there was only 2 that I really liked. And this one, Clippers, strong lean here for me, but we'll break it down. We got Clippers open up at -7, -6.5, pretty much across the board. You got -7 over at FanDuel. The Pelicans, 221 at open. This has steamed up all the way to 224. Can get 223 over at Pinnacle, 223.5 at a couple other spots. From an injury standpoint, we got Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is available tomorrow. Ben Simmons and Norman Powell out. And then on the Pelican side, Zion upgraded to available. We got Alvarado questionable. Olynyk is out. And then you got the two guys there out for the season. Over at themoneyballer.com, coming off an OT game, first game of a back-to-back as well. On the Clippers side, Pelicans in-season revenge, 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6. This is an interesting spot right here, Skee, and I'll pull it up on Killer Sports. But while I do that, what are your thoughts on this one initially?
The Clippers coming off of an overtime game. Clippers still without Norman Powell. I just don't really want to be laying with them on the road. So, yeah, because they're much better at home. It's a combination of all those things. It really makes it almost impossible for me to look at laying here with the Clippers. So, just trying to find reasons to back the Pelicans. I mean, they are fairly healthy. I know you have a couple Alvarado's game time. Yeah, I want to try to back the Pelicans at home here. That's what I'll be trying to do. Trying to find as many reasons as I can.
So this, I was with you initially, and then I kind of dove into that spot that I was talking about, right? Off an OT game and first leg of a back-to-back. It's not a great spot to be in, right? Typically, but one thing that I've seen, so I looked at it, I pulled that up, coming off an OT game, first game of a back-to-back, and they're a road favorite. Since 2018, it's actually been a spot that is favored. 27-6 straight up, 22-8-3 ATS, and look how many they've covered. 5-0 straight up and ATS on the season here. So my thought initially, just like you, I thought it was Pelican spot, but it actually seems like it's a Clipper spot. It might be one of those things where they're road favorites for a reason, and they over adjust the books just because of the situation that they're in. And I know the Pelicans, so if you look at here, Pelicans coming off a cover against the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies have not been that great. Other than that, they lose by 29 here, right? They lose by 12. They lose by 21. On the opposite side, you see the Clippers starting to put things together. Obviously, that's an OT win. They weren't efficient offensively, but they still got the win, right? They got a 10-point win over the Knicks, 8 over Detroit. So they got momentum going on their side. I just feel like this is one of those things like what we typically say, favored for a reason. This is a big number, and I think it's probably because they're the much better team overall and playing a lot better. I know like I said, they covered here, but Memphis is not great. That's not an impressive cover. Other than that, they've been struggling all the way through. So
I just say Clippers, man. They like Jekyll and Hyde, home and road.
yeah.
They finally got 3 wins, here at the house. But when they was on the road, they was just looking shitty. So they could go right back to looking like
I
that.
see. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly your point. 4-9 ATS, 6-10 as a dog, right? So was that 10-19-1 ATS on the road? So your point is definitely valid, but I also look at 4-17 straight up. I know this number here, 11-10 as home dogs, is not in favor, but I don't know. It just seems like they over adjusted the number here, in my opinion, is just because of the first of a back-to-back and the OT spot. So strong lean to the Clipper side, but man, I mean, your point, Jekyll and Hyde, the road situation, that's what actually kept me off taking it before the show. Anything else on this one, Skee?
Nope.
All righty. Let's close this up. We went through 4 games pretty quick. Like I said, man, I didn't really like much for tomorrow, but we dove into them as much as we could with the information that we have. If you guys, I mean, we'll probably have a lot more looks tomorrow's show. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's episode. You just get your notifications for ahead of the spread. Anything? Oh, promo code right there. Promo NBA 33 for 33% off a 7-day NBA pass from myself or Skee. Even though I went 2-3 today, still number one over the last 30 days. Things still been going pretty well. Pretty confident in my $5 play tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys get that. Skee, do you have your play up yet, or are you gonna?
No, I didn't like anything enough to play right now, so I will be doing my homework, see what I have by the morning. But yeah,
Mhm.
we appreciate everybody staying up late, tuning in for the late night show, especially you East Coasters. I know it's what 1 a.m. over there, so
Yep.
appreciate y'all holding us down. And
100.
the looks for today, obviously, I haven't made any bets, like I said, but
Mhm.
just initial looks right now: Milwaukee, Washington, Detroit over. Brooklyn, Cleveland over, and then Pelicans plus the points.
Love it. All right. So on my side, it will be the Nets Cavs over. We got the Bucks or the Bucks team total over. And then in that last game, I think we're on the opposite side. I would lean towards the Clippers minus the points. All right. With that said, guys, that is the end of the show. Whether you fade or follow, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Until next time. Peace.